first half of the year here in Spokane made us believe we would have a pretty resilient real estate market for 2024, but the second half is maybe showing us a different picture. Inventory continues to rise, but prices are holding steady. So what does this mean? And will we see true downward pressure on pricing anytime here in the near future? We're also wondering, how long is this current market going to last, where things are pretty dead right now? Are people just going to take their homes off the market, causing less inventory for those that are buying at the same time that interest rates are coming down? Maybe will the end of summer cause a post-Labor Day boom in the market? Let's talk about it. My name is Haydn Halsted, your real estate resource here in the Spokane area, and today we're going to be doing a look back of what has happened in the housing market here in Spokane so far this year and what we expect for the last 4 months. If you watch this video and learn something new, all I ask in return is a quick like, subscribe, and if you're making a move, use the link down below in the description to schedule a meeting with me to talk about your unique situation. So let's start with the average sales price. Even though it looks like prices have gone way up, this happens every year. It's not that surprising. We have a very cyclical, seasonal real estate market here in Spokane. And so the conversation that I've been having with some clients recently is, should they be buying this fall? Or if they don't have to, should they wait just a little bit? You can see here that there's nearly a 10% difference in pricing, $40,000+ between January and where we are today. So there's a really large difference between pricing in January and the pricing in the middle of the summer. So if you're able to wait and comfortable with moving in the middle of the winter, you are likely going to get a much better price on your home than you would be if you were buying in the middle of the summer. So currently we've seen a small dip in pricing. We're at $436,000, which is just down about 1.3% from last month, but we are still up about 0.5% from last year. $1,500, not a big difference. We could basically call it prices have not changed year over year. So now we've seen sales volume go up each month this year, except for once we hit the summer. Sales volume meaning the number of homes that closed. So we've seen that natural increase. It happens every single year, but come June and July, we're seeing that drop off. And so now we need to ask ourselves, why are sales coming down when there are so many more homes on the market? And now, so this graph is really the most telling of what where the market is at. This is a month supply of inventory graph. It shows that how many homes are on the market compared to those that are selling. How many months would it take for all the homes on the market to sell if no new homes hit the market? Anything below 3 months, we would still consider a seller's market. Anything kind of above 5-6 months becomes a buyer's market. So we started the year at 2.6 months. We saw a rapid drop to 1.8. And this is when I bought my house, was February, March of this year, because I thought I was being cheeky and was buying my house before the spring market, before we thought things were going to open up, because we had a very slow fourth quarter in 2023, but I was not that smart, and everybody had the same idea. They were going to get into the market before the spring rush, and there was really not a lot of houses coming to the market at that time. So we saw a big push down in the month supply of inventory because there was a big push of buyers trying to get in early in the year, but not a lot of sellers that had entered the market just yet. And so even for me at this time, I was in multiple offer situation on the house that I ended up purchasing, and I had multiple buyers in multiple offer situations at this time as well. So really, instead of avoiding the crazy spring market, it just made a crazy late winter market, which it is what it is. And so we had a couple months of that, and then April came and that quickly changed. We saw inventory rise rapidly, and in some neighborhoods of Spokane, we are currently in a total buyer's market. There are areas of Spokane where 2.7 is the average, but we have 6, 7, 8 months of inventory in certain pockets, in certain price points of the Spokane market. So now we are in August and coming to the end of the summer, and it really is an opportune time for buyers, as many sellers who are selling right now either listed towards the beginning of the summer, already bought a new home, or just need to offload this property that they have listed before we get too far into the fall, so they don't have to keep paying double mortgage payments into the winter and potentially have to rent the property. So where are the opportunities in the market? They're not everywhere, but if you're looking for homes in that $600,000 to $800,000 price point, there are a lot of them, and I'd be looking for the ones that are empty. There's many situations where these people have already moved. They may be making 2 mortgage payments, and in this price point, it's unlikely that the house will rent for more than what they're paying on the mortgage. So even if they do rent it out, they're going to be losing money every month for the next year. There's a a few spots like this in Spokane. Northwood is an example where there are 25 homes on the market and only 7 of them are pending, about 28%. The Comstock neighborhood, there's about 29% of homes that are looking to sell that are currently pending. And in the South Valley, the Chester area, there's about 26% of homes that are pending out of the ones that are currently accepting offers. Other neighborhoods in Spokane are much closer to a 50% ratio. So you can see that there's a dramatic difference in some of these pockets around Spokane where there are a lot of active listings compared to the ones that have accepted offers. So I think there's room for upsizers moving from a house that is in the mid $400,000 to $500,000 range that are now making more than they were. Maybe they have some equity to move out of their house. They bought it in 2018, perfect time to buy. Their interest rate is low. And so they have options on whether they sell their house and use that money to buy the next one, or maybe that low interest rate allows that property to cash flow and be used as a rental. Obviously, it's totally up to your situation. I've been talking to a lot of sellers who would like to sell, and when I give them the price, many of them either want to wait, which at this point just means spring of 2025. There's no point in putting it on the market this year. Or they say, let's give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, I just won't move and we'll try again in the spring. I have a few of these sellers right now. They just wanted to put it on the market at the price that they felt good with. If they get an offer, great, which we've had some showings, but we are just kind of sitting right now. And if it comes to end of October, we will just take it off the market and we'll try again in the springtime. So we're at this interesting point in the market where I do encounter quite a few unmotivated sellers. They're the kind of make me move seller that would, in a perfect world, like to do something, but they just don't have to and are fine to wait a bit. And I would also say that the large majority of homes listed on the market are currently priced too high for what the market will allow. And sellers are stuck in 2020 while buyers think it's 2008 and the market is crashing, even though that's just not true. Prices are the same. So we're butting heads a lot right now, and there's just not a lot of agreements on where the market is at. So if you are a seller, there are different pricing strategies that you need to be aware of. The first being aspirational pricing, the highest of all. If you have a property that has some celebrity factor, a crazy unique piece of land or something like that, then you can price it high and expect to still receive some sort of offer for that person searching for their dream home because your property has something that no other property has about it. Many homes do not fall into this category though. So the second being listed in the middle at the market value, or what we call perceived market value, because market value doesn't exist until the keys have been handed to the new owner. We have to see what buyers are willing to pay for it, what repairs needed to be done during the inspection period. That is what market value is. So we do perceived market value based on the comps that are currently in the market, and we list it there. The third option being auction pricing, which means listing your home 5-10% below that perceived market value to generate as many eyeballs, as much activity on the property to hope to get it sold in the first week to 2 weeks with hopefully multiple offers at that point. The market has shown in multiple instances that this still works. And so if you are not willing to take that risk, as many sellers think it is, they think it's a risk, then you have to expect to have your home sitting on the market for 30 to 60, even 90 days right now, if you're not willing to price it a little bit below where you might think it's worth. But the reality of the market is that there are buyers on the sidelines right now waiting to attack a good deal like ferocious, like vicious sharks. Like I just said, when I went to buy my home in February because I thought I was going to beat the spring market, well, so did everybody else. The market is funny in that way that buyers all think alike. And so buyers right now are waiting for the right deal, and then they all jump on it and then drive the price up versus making their own deals. And I've had multiple buyers write really low offers on houses this summer and get them accepted anywhere from 5 to 10% off the asking price on homes between $500,000 and $700,000, which obviously you can do the math, that's a lot of money. And so in addition, if you are a buyer, many buyers are faced with the issue of, do I buy or do I just rent? And so I've had this conversation a lot too. And if you look at the numbers, it really, in a lot of cases, can make more sense financially to just rent versus buy. Especially if you wanted a house like this one, that's like a 4-bed, 3-bath, at least 2,000 square feet. This is currently asking rent for $3,000 a month. And if you look at comps in the neighborhood, this house is probably worth like at least $585, if not $600. And so when I come over, I ran it at $575 to even be conservative, but looking at the cost of just home ownership and how it's increased so much over time, that even if you had a 20% down payment, which is rare in this world, $115,000 to put down, we have to factor in home repairs have gone up extensively. The maintenance of a home has gone up so much. They're suggesting now that you need to be putting away at least 1, if not 2%, of the home's value every year into a savings account to maintain it. And so if we run the numbers, you would need to live in the house for 8 years to just break even, not even make money on it, for it to financially make sense. So this doesn't take into account potential opportunities to refinance and things like that. And it's being conservative on appreciation, but this is a very likely scenario. So you definitely want to be committed to living in that home, to living here in Spokane for a pretty long time if you want to expect to actually have your home be some financial gain in your life. So in the last 2 months, I've helped 10 people buy a home here in Spokane, and I just want to go over a few reasons why people have made the move so that you can see why people are still buying in this market. So if I go back, look at my closed transactions, I had a couple move here. They bought a home without selling their home in California. It's going to be their retirement home in the Deer Park area, moving from California. Another family that moved here from California can be remote workers. A family that moved here from Maryland to be closer to their son that was going to college in Seattle. A couple who accepted a job at Sacred Heart and are making way more money than they ever did, and with their new salaries bought a beautiful property on the Spokane River. Another couple that is retiring here in Spokane, a couple that lived in Denver, and so now their money could go way further here in the Spokane area, and they were able to buy a home on 20 acres. And the husband had accepted a new job here in the Spokane area. Another couple moved here from California. They had lived in Spokane previously, moved to California for better weather, and then just figured out that it wasn't for them, so they moved back to the Spokane area. And then another group from California that was moving up here for a new job as well. So the interesting thing is that the majority of those people actually found new jobs here in Spokane. They're not remote workers, so they actually find in-person jobs. So that's for you watching this video. I've had a few comments about the job market. A lot of these people, depending on whatever field they were in, some of these were pastors, some of these were doctors, just whatever in between, they were able to find great employment here and then be able to purchase a home here in the Spokane area. So because everybody's situation is so unique, I do highly recommend using that link down below in the description to schedule a meeting with me on my calendar. We can talk about your unique situation, see if now is the right time for you to buy or sell, and we can take it from there. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.